Live from Fort Bragg's backyard, this is the show that put the 110 Nation on the map. There is only one nation, the 110 Nation. And you're listening to the 110 Nation Sports Show. Covering each and every sport across the board. There is no sport too large or too little. It's time to talk the talk. Here we go. Here's the man, the founder, and your host, Mr. CJ Sports.
I want to welcome everybody to the 110 Nation Sports Show. I'm your host, Mr. CJ Sports. You can follow me at CJ Sports1. You can follow the 110 Nation at 110 Nation. Make sure you check us out on Facebook. My personal fan page, Mr. CJ Sports. The 110 Nation fan page, 110 Nation Sports. Also check out our blog site, www.the110nationsports.com. And you also check out our company site, www.the110nation.com, for all the latest going on here at the 110 Nation. Tell you what, studio doing whatever it wants to do. That was not how that was supposed to go, but I don't know. What can I say? I'm just the host. Just the host, just the founder, just the man, the founder, the CEO, the host, producer, co-host of shows. Still don't understand how all this technological stuff works. But glad to be here tonight. We got a special treat for you tonight. Tonight, what we do on Thursday nights is we merge shows. I'm getting things kicked off here in about 30 minutes. We'll be being joined, however you want to look at it, by Steve Big Sweat Billmeyer and Racing with Big Sweats. And I tell you what, tonight is a very, very, very great show. I hope that you guys stick around for it and check it out. We got Amber Balkin joining this show tonight. She has been on this show, the 110 Nation Sports Show, the regular edition. I guess I kind of look at this like the super edition when we get combine two shows together. We've had her on 3 or 4 times. Very talented, beautiful, young driver. I want to say she's like 20, 21 years old. From Canada. Always a ball of energy. Always a blast to have on the show. So definitely looking forward to that. We got Jesse. I know I'm going to end up jacking up his last name. It's like a Jolly. K&N Pro Series driver. Has a video out where he let a young 4-year-old kid experience being in a race car. Kind of one of this young child's wishes as this young kid is fighting cancer and was helping making a dream come true. And then you got Tyler Sistrunk joining the show as well. He's been on Racing with Big Sweat before, friend of the show. So very, very excited about having all those guys and ladies on the show tonight. Very, very excited. So very, very excited about having both these drivers on the show. Looking forward to sitting in and having the opportunity to sit in the studio and play producer and co-host with Big Sweat there. Don't forget, April 15th. Well, first of all, let's backtrack a second. Let's talk about March 17th here for a second, or March 19th here for a second. Well, actually, let's even backtrack for a second. Let's talk about March 17th. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Let's go with that first. Then let's skip forward to Saturday, 6 p.m. Seek to Destroy Cancer here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Make sure you guys check that out. If you guys are in the local area, if you guys are right here by Fort Bragg, North Carolina, make sure you guys check out this event. A great event, a great opportunity to help raise money for cancer. Make sure you guys check that out. We are one of the sponsors of this event, and just looking forward to the opportunity to be a part of that and help raise money for a great cause. April 15th. Let's move forward to there. 5-year anniversary here at the 10 Nation. Our goal for April 15th, 2011 is to hit 1,000 likes. And we would love the opportunity for you to help us out. Either like us if you if you've not liked us, make sure you guys go over there, check out our fan page, 110 Nation Sports. If you have liked us, share us with a friend. I know everybody has got a friend that they know that likes sports. Hey, look, share us on Facebook to them. Tell them in person about us. Help us hit 1,000 likes. And if you don't know anybody that likes sports, just share it anyway. I mean, it's quite that simple. It ain't going to cost you nothing. We hit 1,000 likes. What we're going to do is we got 5 days of 110 Nation. We got 5 days of 110 Nation goodie bags that we're going to be giving out. We're working on those and getting all that worked out. Don't know what we're going to do, but we got a ways to go. We got about 176 likes to go. We just want to hit 1,000. That's our milestone for the 5-year anniversary. So do us a favor. Hook us up, check us out, share us, like us, whatever the case may be. Help us hit 1,000 likes before we hit 5 years old here at the 110 Nation. It would be a great thing for us, and all the shows are on board. Everybody is trying to do their part to help. To hit that goal, so make sure you do us a favor and check it out and share it, like it, everything. Had some upsets today. I'll tell you what, it's always fun to watch the bracket start to get torn up into shambles first thing. We got a couple of updates, and then we're going to talk about some scores and some upsets here in the tournament so far. And then, of course, we got some of the not-so upsets that really doesn't surprise us. What we got going on here? I know I've been sharing stuff all day long on our fan page, so that's what I'm going to use to pull up. I know Chris Johnson is staying in Arizona. Really, I guess not a surprise to me. What the 110 Nation? There you go. What Arizona and Chris Johnson was able to do last year, and the success they had, and the productivity that they got out of Chris Johnson, I think it was a great fit for the Arizona Cardinals. I like that. Like I said, really not a surprise. The Denver Broncos go ahead and sign Russell Okung, formerly off tackle, formerly of the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, they figure they need to make sure that they protect Mark Sanchez, protect the future of that is so wrong to say, future of the Denver Broncos. I don't know if I'll ever get past talking about Mark Sanchez and the Denver Broncos going from Peyton Manning and even Brock Osweiler to Mark Sanchez. Oh, not such glory days in the great state of Colorado, I guess. Upset City. Tell you what. It's upset alert. Another one coming through as it looks like Holy Cross is beating Oregon right now, which that would be a big one right there. So we're definitely going to keep our eye on that as we continue on throughout the show. And we'll try to get some scores and updates wrapped up once we break away from the Racing with Big Sweat tonight. What we got going on had some messages coming through. I was trying to make sure that okay. What we got going on? I'll tell you what, some good games today, some close games, some games that shouldn't even really been close, that were close. I mean, I don't know. 1-16 shouldn't be close. 2-15 shouldn't be close. And that's not exactly what has happened today, and really kind of surprised. I mean, to know that they're at the half and Carolina is only up 41-40 against the Florida Gulf Coast team, that's really kind of shocking to me. I'm expecting a lot more. Utah and Fresno State, number 3 Utah, 14th Fresno State, just getting underway. They're at the 15-minute mark, 10-3. Utah is up. Buffalo, 14th ranked Buffalo, 3rd ranked Miami of Florida. With about 8 minutes left in the second half, Miami is up 53-47. 5th ranked Indiana is up on 12th ranked Chattanooga, 46-37. They are at the half. I've already mentioned North Carolina barely ahead of Florida Gulf Coast by 1 point there at the half. Later on tonight, 6th ranked Arizona is going to go against 11th ranked Wichita. 4th ranked Kentucky against 13th ranked Stony Brook. 8th ranked UNC, 9th ranked Providence. 6th seeded Seton Hall against 11th seeded Gonzaga. Also earlier, number 1 Kansas, who I have in my Final Four, losing to Oklahoma. Did take down Austin Peay 105-79. Purdue was one of the first big upsets of the day. There was 2 12-5 upsets, and we kind of expected this. There's always usually at least 1 5-12 upset, but we had 2 today. Arizona Little Rock took Purdue into double overtime, ends up winning 85-83. Yale over Baylor. Now, I didn't pick that upset. Well, I didn't pick either upset, but I honestly thought Baylor was going to go another couple rounds, if I recall correctly. But Yale 79-75 over Baylor. Virginia stomps all over Hampton. First ranked number 1 seeded Virginia over 16 seeded Hampton, 81-45. 4th seeded Iowa State 94-81 over 13th seeded Iowa. 9th seeded Butler over 8th seeded Texas Tech 71-61. 9th seeded UConn, which I had, over Colorado 74-67. Duke, 4th ranked Duke, over 13 seeded NC Wilmington, only 93-85. That was another one of those games that I really expected the gap to be a little bit farther. Now that my computer is updated, I don't know why I didn't update at first with Yahoo Sports, got the scores from. Carolina has opened that lead to a 54-43 lead, so that now is starting to get to be more of what we expected the score to be versus that 41-40 halftime. Like I said, that really kind of shocking to me, as I just really expected UNC to kind of run away. You got the number 1 seed for a reason, not to struggle against a 16th seeded Florida Gulf Coast team. But starting to pull away, starting to separate. But those are your games right now. Throughout the show tonight, I'm going to try to give you guys as much updates as I can when it comes to the scores, so you guys prepare yourself for that. Tell you what, it's been a fun week. Having Shorty join the studio. She was in the studio for about an hour and a half last night. Had a blast with that. Like I said, having the opportunity tonight to sit in with Steve Billmeyer and Racing with Big Sweat. I know tomorrow night we're hoping to have Dylan Lumpton, ARCA Series and Xfinity Series race driver. Hoping to have him back on the show. We had him on, I think, right before the season. I don't think the season has started yet. So looking forward to that. I know Miss Lee is panning out the details on that. If you're interested in coming on the show, if you're an athlete, don't matter if you're an athlete, part of some kind of athletic organization, some kind of team, maybe you got a show or site and you want to come on and promote it and talk sports, or maybe you got some kind of charity affiliation like the Seek to Destroy Cancer, which we're a part of that here this Saturday here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, or More Than Just Me, where they're doing the More Than Just Miles 5K run to raise money for cystic fibrosis here in April. What the case may be, you got something going on. We would love to have an opportunity to get you on the show, help put you in front of the hundreds and thousands of listeners and followers that we have, and help get your project out there, help get your foundation, your charity, whatever the case may be. We would love to have the opportunity to do that. Also, if you're interested in joining the 110 Nation, as we got Steve Big Sweat Bill Meyer getting ready to do his show, part of the 110 Nation. We got Damian Bean and Chris Creighton, who do a show on Sunday night, part of the 110 Nation. We syndicate Happy Hour Garage on Saturdays. If you're interested in joining, and we also got Bob, one of our writers, part of the 110 Nation. If you got a show that you want to have it syndicated or rebroadcast on our network, or maybe you want to help be an expert, like we have Izzo come on Tuesday nights about 10:30, and he talks just strictly in NHL. He knows the NHL like the back of his hand. Maybe you want to come on once or twice a week and be part of the show that way, or maybe you want to co-host. I've really opened up and have really, decided that I would love to have an opportunity to have a co-host. It's kind of why we had Shorty join the show last night, and probably why we'll have her back Tuesday and Wednesday. It gives you two people to listen to. It gives me someone to feed off of. It gives me an opportunity to be able to be quiet for a second and kind of look up a couple things or do a couple things and have someone talking so there's no dead air time. But if you're interested in help co-hosting the show, maybe you want to write for us. Maybe you are a journalist. Maybe the radio is not you, but you still want to get your opinions out there. You still want to get your thoughts out there, and would like to do it behind what you write, or maybe behind the scenes stuff is more of your taking. Miss Lee would love to have someone that would do her job, not for her, but to help her. She always talk about she's looking for someone to. We need to clone her. She does a phenomenal job. She keeps up with all our guests, all their PRs, the press releases that we get from all the different places that we get them from. Everything that goes on behind the scene, Miss Lee pretty much has her hands in. We'd love to have the opportunity to be able to bring someone on, train them to do what Miss Lee does, and help assist her, be her right-hand person. Or maybe social media is your thing. They love being on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the case may be, and you want to help make our social media be more of a impact for our company. Marketing, whatever the case may be. All you gotta do is hit me up, MrCJSports@gmail.com. And I don't know what I said when it came to coming on the show. If you're interested in coming on the show, though, you hit up Miss Lee. That's LEE_110nation@yahoo.com. That's twice in a row that I've done that. So let's backtrack just for one brief second. If you want to be part of the show, come on and be a guest on the show. Hit up Miss Lee. That's LEE_110nation@yahoo.com. If you want to be part of the 110 Nation, join our company and help us grow and reach the thousands of people monthly. And I use the word thousands loosely. We got a nice following. Hit me up, MrCJSports@gmail.com. We're getting to the point now that we are spreading so far, and we are, being reaching so many people that we're at a point now that we really do need to bring on a writer or two and add another show or add another radio talent to our arsenal here, or however it may work out. There's only like 4 to 6 of us, depending on how you want to look at it, doing all this stuff and reaching over a couple 100,000 people a month. So we're getting to the point that we would really could use a couple extra voices, a couple extra hands, a couple extra bodies, whatever the case may be. Like I said, if you're interested, all you got to do is hit me up, MrCJSports@gmail.com. I would love to have the opportunity to sit down with you, see what you want. If it's just a stepping stone to get your foot in the door to somewhere else, if it's just to learning experience, if it's something you want to help make this company, put us on the map, as we constantly grow the number of show every single month, that we are definitely growing in the right direction. And I'm looking at stats right now. And even compared to just last month's numbers, we're up 82% versus last month. We're up almost 2,000% versus what we were last year. Kind of gives you an idea. I'm not saying that we're knocking out of the park, and got millions of people. Wow, I got stuff just falling everywhere. I'm not saying we're beating down the doors and got millions of people's. There you go. Now I'm talking like some of the people that walk in my store. I'm not saying we got millions of people tuning in, but we got a nice little fan base going on, and we're in the hundreds of thousands, and we're growing every month. Still growing. There's not a month that we are not growing, and obviously we're not going nowhere. I kind of talked about this last night. Obviously we're not going nowhere. 5 years as of April 15th, and the money I've invested and the time I invested. I can promise you in 5 years, the amount of money I've invested, I could have bought a house by now. I can guarantee you that. Probably could have bought you 2 pretty decent houses. I'm not going to say nothing big, but let's go with, I could have probably bought 2 fully loaded 2016, the best package you could get, Silverado, extended cab, diesel, those $25,000, $30,000, $35,000 trucks, whatever they are. Could have bought 2 of those for what we've invested into what we're doing. And it kind of gives you a ballpark, at least two of them. So we're not going anywhere. So if you're out there and you're interested, it could be we could cross promote each other and do things. I got things going on with different companies as it is. Whatever the case may be. Like I said, we're just getting to a point now that things are just getting so hectic because there's so much going on, and there's such a small staff, and we would love to have an opportunity to find a way to increase our staff and continue to grow, and that's ultimately what it comes down to. And we're honestly looking for those that are in it for the long haul, that want to get something out of it. I'm that type that if you're here in day one, or even going on year 5, and we're at where we're at, and you're still around year 7 when we're triple that, and I take care. Long or short, I take care of those that stick around and help make this all possible. You don't believe me? Ask Miss Lee. Ask Izzo. I do what I can do, and there's still plenty more to come from. So, also, if you're listening to the show tonight. Speaking of the 5-year anniversary and trying to hit that 1,000 like mark, if you're a company out there, or you're a race car driver, or any kind of athlete out there, and you got merchandise you would like to put in our goodie bags. I mean, especially if you're a small company and you got T-shirts or hats, or a driver, an up-and-coming driver that got T-shirts or got hats. This right here is a good way to help, or a good way to get your stuff out there. Because not only one, we're going to put them in the goodie bags to give out to people, but also everybody that contributes stuff, we will recognize you on our site, we will recognize you on the social media, and we'll talk about it on the show. So if you have something, say you're a small company, and you got I don't know, $10, $20, $50 worth of product that you can just give to I don't care if it's like 3 Matchbox NASCAR cars, or 3 small starting lineup, whatever they are, football players, or whatever the case may be, or maybe it's just simply a bunch of pack of football cards or basketball cards. I don't really care. We want to make these goodie bags to be really cool, and really kick off our 5-year anniversary with a bang. Not only hitting 1,000 likes, but be able to give a bunch of stuff away. If you're a company out there, driver out there, whatever the case may be, and you're interested in help be part of the goodie bag, help expose your brand and be part of this, hit me up as well, MrCJSports@gmail.com. I would love to have an opportunity to see what you got, see what we could throw in the goodie bags, and get you recognized and help promote your business, your career, your whatever the case may be. So make sure that you guys hit me up, MrCJSports@gmail.com. It's kind of interesting. Dwight Howard to hire Shaq's agent. I think that's kind of funny. It's going to take more than Shaq's agent to help you out. Ain't nobody want to. Ain't nobody. After years of feuding Houston Rockets star Dwight Howard and future Hall of Fame center Shaquille O'Neal are partnering. Howard plans to hire O'Neal's agent Perry Rogers for his new representation. Multiple sources told The Vertical Rogers could file official paperwork in the National Basketball Players Association as soon as Friday. Sources said Roger doesn't have any other NBA clients and established his reputation as tennis legend Andre Agassi's longtime agent. O'Neal, a longtime public nemesis of Howard's, had extensive conversations with the Houston Center and sold him on the marketing of Superman and the representation of Rogers. Sources said the potential of marketing Howard and O'Neal in advertisements together played a role too, sources said. Interesting. I don't even know what to say about this. Does this mean that Shaquille O'Neal is going to start... does that mean Shaquille O'Neal is going to be a sellout? Is this where we're getting at? Is that what this means? I don't know if I like that too much. But looks like Dwight Howard is going to get some new representation, and we got to jump in here real quick as we're getting things kicked underway here as it's almost 9 o'clock. As we're about to join the other show, if I can get in here real quick. And I'm not sure what the... Looks like Steve has dropped his phone call, so hopefully he comes back. And of course, my phone takes forever and a day to do anything, so we'll see how this goes. But it ought to be interesting as I'm calling into the show here. As there's that. And of course, as soon as my phone acts right, I happen to turn it off, so now I gotta turn it back on. I'm coming, Steve. I know he's probably like, where's my co-host at? He is adding another co-host to the Thursday night show, so looking forward to that. And come on. Dow. There we go. All right, let's jump in here and
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
There you go. I'm in the studio. Oh, and there we go. As I wait for Big Steve to come back into, I've seen him come in and out of the studio a couple times. So hopefully we get him back here. But as we wait for Steve to jump back in here, looking forward to another great episode tonight here with Racing with Big Sweat. There's Steve right there. Steve, take it away.
I'm having a world of trouble getting through, but I'm here now, folks. So, howdy, race fans. How the hell are you? This is Steve Billmeyer, also known as Big Sweat, the ramrod of this cattle drive tonight, and we got a good one planned for you. You've just been hearing from my partner in crime, Mr. CJ Sports. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. How are you, CJ?
Oh, not too bad. Very, very excited about being on here tonight, especially with the lineup you have tonight. I've had the opportunity to keep up with Jesse through social media and all the great things he's doing. Of course, Tyler's been, if I'm not mistaken, he's been on Racing with Big Sweat before, so I know that I follow him and what he's been doing, so excited about that. And, of course, Amber, who's been on the 110 Nation Sports Show 3 or 4 times and got a little history with her and her coming on the show. Very, very excited about all 3 guests tonight.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good show. And one of the highlights would be how bad I can butcher two of these three people's last names. You're a Southern boy. We're not all that big on pronunciation. We just like to talk about it.
There you go.
What's been happening? You watched the race this past weekend?
You know, I did watch the race. I get an opportunity to get a DVR, so I get to catch every last bit of it. And I am still scratching my head on how the TV ratings are down, while I've had the opportunity of probably watched the best 4 races to kick off any season that I have watched to this point, when we have 2 races come down to the closest finish in that track's history in the Sprint Cup Series, and then the tire strategy with Keselowski taking over the end of the what was it, Las Vegas, and then of course Jimmy Johnson when he won his race, and everything that has came in between to include both the leader in second place beating and banging their doors at Daytona, and I thought that they were going to take each other out when Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick came to take the checker at Phoenix. I don't know what else NASCAR can do to make this any better than what it already is.
I don't understand it either. The only thing I can think of is maybe with the different online streaming apps available to it, maybe people are spending more time watching it on their computer or their phone or iPad than they are watching the race on television.
I don't know, because you would think that they would still be able to track that and take that into consideration when we keep hearing the reports of the ratings were down, because I think this week it was down from a 3.8 to a 3.6, and when they talk about the attendance at the track, you would think if that was the case, then they would take that into consideration when they're giving out those numbers, because I wouldn't think that NASCAR or any sport would put out numbers saying, hey, our sport, we're losing fans, we're not getting the viewership that we once had, if, that's not even the case. I mean, nobody wants to put those numbers out because that doesn't look good on your sport. So I would think that if that's the case, then they would be willing to give out those numbers and everything else, just so it doesn't look bad on NASCAR that, their live attendance is down, their TV ratings are down. I mean, I think we both agree on this part that we would like to see, probably hear more Larry Mack and probably even more Mike Joy and maybe less Mikey, Darrell, and Jeff. I think that might help a little bit. I don't know everybody's opinion on it. I know that there are just not a lot of people that are, especially as long as Darrell's been doing this. It was cool the first few years you heard boogie, boogity, boogity, but now 15, 20 years later, it's kind of played out. And Mikey, as entertaining he can be at times, it gets to be overwhelming at other times. So, I don't, like I said, I don't know what else they can do. I just know what we're seeing on the track and the results and the finishes and every other aspect and any aspect that I've seen so far, except for, and you brought this up when we was on Rubbing His Racing on Monday night, outside of the Xfinity Series, especially his last 2 races that Kyle Busch just totally dominated on, there's not really nothing else that NASCAR can do that, I mean, unless they just give out free cars or free, I don't know what else they can do.
I don't know either. Just kind of baffling, really. I don't understand why the ratings are down so low, because the racing's been so good. I just don't. I can't see any.
Thanks for calling in, caller. Was you just listening in? We'll take that as a yeah.
He's killed NASCAR and all this, and I don't think that has anything to do with it at all. I think it's something skewing the ratings one way or the other. I just don't know what it is. And, kind of the way Kyle Busch has dominated the last two Xfinity Cup races, Xfinity Series races, that doesn't add much excitement to it either, but that's beside the point. Let's talk some local short track racing. And here with my first guest, she's a well-known sprint car driver, a hard driver, and she's an advocate for young race fans and women race fans, so she covers it all over. And Amber, I'm sorry if I'm going to butcher your last name, but help me welcome Amber Balcaen. Was that even close?
It was close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's Amber Balcaen. Very close.
Not bad for a redneck. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, we're glad you're here. Always a pleasure. Let's start off with your background. What got you into racing, and what age were you when you started racing?
I'm a third-generation race car driver, so I've been at the track since I've been in my mom's belly. My mom grew up in a sprint car family, and my dad raced the dirt late models. So I've been at the dirt track since I was a little girl and started in go-karts and then raced mini sprints and then moved up to the 410 sprint car, and now I'm racing an asphalt late model this year.
Oh, you're running late models this year, huh?
Yeah, I decided to switch over to the asphalt route to pursue my dreams in NASCAR and see how that goes. I had a lot of success in dirt track racing, so figured it was time for a new challenge.
There you go. Do you subscribe to the theory that people should learn to race on dirt first and then transfer to asphalt?
I don't think there's one way to race or one way to pursue your dreams. I think whatever you're passionate about and what you want to do is what you should do. If pavement racing is what you like to do and that's your passion, then go for it. If dirt racing is what you like to do, then go for that. I don't think there's a right or wrong way. You just do your way. I think your way is the right way.
I hear that. What tracks are you planning on running this year?
I hope to run in Virginia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Motor Mile, South Boston, Greenville, Hickory, Myrtle Beach, a little bit of everything.
I don't know why. I thought you were out of the Midwest.
Yeah, I'm actually Canadian. I'm from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, which borders the North Dakota state line. So when I race sprint cars, I race all over North Dakota, Minnesota, but there's not much pavement racing around here, probably because we only have about a 4 to 5 month race season for dirt tracks. So going down south gives me the opportunity to race a little bit longer throughout the season.
Do you drive for a family-run operation?
No, I've actually owned or driven for people or got my own sponsorships my whole career. I've never had any family money or any real financial backing from anyone. I've been able to create some good partnerships with great companies that have helped me along the way, and now that I'm kind of moving up to the next step, I'm still in search for sponsorship. I'm a driver that's completely funded by sponsorship. I can't really get on the racetrack without it. So building relationships and creating partnerships with businesses is something that's extremely important to me, and pretty much what I do all day.
If there's anybody listening that wants to sponsor somebody that'll definitely make your product look good and promote your product well, you need to check Amber out. She's really worth the effort.
Now, I was going to jump in here.
Your first?
Okay, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I want to jump in here for a second. I've had the opportunity to sit and talk with Amber quite a few times, And first, Amber, make sure that after the show, I'm going to hit you up. I want to get your schedule because now that you're running locally to me, and my schedule's changed up, I definitely want to have an opportunity to not only see you live, but have an opportunity to actually have a face-to-face with you one time. But also, how did the opportunity for this ride come about? Because I know that the last time we talked, you came down to North Carolina, was doing some testing, and had a couple possibilities, and that was kind of why you was down here for. Obviously, you turned some heads while you was down here. How did this ride come about for you?
Well, I've been in contact with a few different asphalt late model teams, but there was one team in particular that I really liked what they had to offer, and really liked what they bring to the table as an owner, as a team, and someone that I really want to be in partnership with. I'm refraining from saying who that is until things are finalized. I mean, I have a lot of really strong potential sponsors for this year, but nothing is set completely in stone yet, and
Gotcha.
Only for half the year. So I'm still looking for that funding for the other half of the year. I'm a business graduate. I really pride myself on the relationships that I build with my sponsors, and it's something I take very, very seriously. So once those things are finalized, then I can announce what team I'll be racing with and what companies I'll get to represent. Hopefully that will be in just a few weeks here, so maybe I can come back on the show. But I really, really like what this team has to offer. I like the tracks that they're wanting to go to, and it's just a very strong competitive race team. And since I haven't had, all the money in the world to be able to race, I figured to be in really good equipment is going to be something that's going to really showcase my talent. And coming from dirt, I need to make a statement right away on the pavement tracks. So I feel that this is the best way of doing it.
Yeah, definitely so. Yeah, I'm glad to hear the names of the tracks you're running at. All those tracks, with the exception of Green Pickens Speedway, are within 2 hours of me in Raleigh. So I'll definitely be able to get out and catch you somewhere.
Yeah, definitely. I'm super excited to try new tracks. Pretty much every pavement track I go to is a new track for me, and I really like the challenges of figuring out a new track, learning the different components. Asphalt racing is much more technical than dirt racing. You have to be so consistent every lap and every corner, and I really like chasing that consistency. So that's why I'm really excited about this year.
I know there's a lot of drivers that use iRacing, and a lot of them have been using the YouTube to kind of learn these tracks, and it's really cool just to know how simple the just a video on YouTube helps you guys. Have you had an opportunity to kind of look at some of these tracks, if it be through iRacing or be YouTube, I guess more so since these are smaller tracks? Have you had an opportunity to find anything to kind of help aid you and at least get you somewhat prepared of what you're about to get into in some of these tracks coming up?
Yeah, before I go to a track, I usually go on YouTube and check out the videos. Definitely am up there on the trailer watching cars before I go out on the track. I just got the iRacing system all purchased that not too long ago, so I still have to kind of set that all up. And once I am able to move down to the States, I think I'll be a lot more active on iRacing and really utilize that tool. But for now, I'm honestly just working on sponsorship. That's what I do all day, every day for 8 to 12 hours a day, because without funding, I'm not going to be able to be on the racetrack. So right now, that's my number one priority. Once I get the funding, then I'll be 100% focused on what I can do off the track in preparation to building my skills once I'm on the track.
Good idea. Something I wanted to talk about. I see a lot of pictures you post on Facebook and in my group, NASCAR and Other Racing, but I see very few of you in the sprint car, and I see a lot of you interacting with young fans at the track, which I think is very admirable.
Thank you.
what got you directed that way toward the younger fans, and what do you get out of it? What kind of satisfaction does it bring you?
I mean, since I was young, I come from Winnipeg, Canada, which, isn't definitely not racing capital of the world. And so from a very young age, I've always appreciated the little amount of fans I have. And I've grown quite a following throughout the years. And the fans that I do have are just the best. They're so supportive, even if I'm not on the track every week because of financial reasons or anything, they're always there supporting me, cheering me on. And I feel like it is my responsibility as a female driver to be that positive role model for younger girls. And not only for younger girls, but I'm truly a dream chaser. I mean, I haven't taken the typical journey of through racing, which most people have. And I really want to prove to people that, even if you don't have all the tools necessary to make something happen, if you work hard enough and are passionate and driven, that you can really do anything you put your mind to. And that's something I really want to show to all my fans. I really just want to use NASCAR as a platform to help others, help others reach their full potential, help others be motivated to go after their goals, whether it's to be a professional baseball player or dancer, singer, or own your own business, or a race car driver like me. I really want to do more than just drive a car with this platform. I know sometimes, people say that females get a little bit more attention in the racing industry because we're more rare. And I want to use that to my advantage in the sense that I want to use this platform to do positive things within the industry.
Atta girl. I've looked at some of these pictures, and you're down on one knee to where you're eye level with these young ladies, and you can just see the love in their eyes as they're talking to you. And it struck me. It's really impressive to me that these girls have someone to look up to. You're definitely a role model for these younger ladies, and you do it in a different way than a lot of other females approach it. That, there's no bikini shots or anything like that. You're just, a race car driver and somebody that can relate to young people that want to be a race car driver. And I just want to let you know that a lot of people think highly of you just because of that.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that, and that's fully the reason why I, don't try to explicit my feminism too much, is because I want to have that respect from, the 6, 7, 13, 14, 15-year-old girls, and I want to have respect by the mothers. I want them to know, look, this is someone I want my daughter looking up. I want my daughter reading her Facebook posts. I want my daughter watching her race because she's a good race car driver and she stands for important things. And I want my fans to know that they can come to me at any time with any, whether it be questions about racing or questions about life. And we've all been in high school and had to deal with bullies and things like that. And I just want my fans to feel comfortable coming to me and asking me any questions and just being there for them. They're always there for me by just supporting me. So if I can be there for them too, then I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely so. Especially you mentioned high schoolers and the bullying and all that. What's it been like for you being a female driver in a male-dominated pit area? Have you run into anything like that?
Yeah, definitely. In a sense, I've always kind of felt like a misfit or an outsider my entire life, whether it be, being in middle school in Canada, being the only one who liked racing, because racing's not overly popular in Canada. I wear racing t-shirts and get made fun of for it. And then, but racing is really where I felt like I belong. When I did get to the track, I didn't really think like, oh, I'm the only girl here. I was like, I'm a driver. These are drivers. This is where I belong. And then, I mean, eventually when I started having some success and stuff, some of the guys were quick to put me down and try to make excuses for me and stuff. But all in all, it really doesn't bother me anymore. I think everything that doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I take everything with a grain of salt. I don't really care as much what people think about me or when they have negative things to say about me. I kind of ignore it now because I know there's a lot of people who do support me and do like what I'm trying to do. So I really feed off of that and use that as my motivation to keep on going. And the negative stuff I really just try to put behind me.
There you go. Do you ever want, when you outrun the other guys, do you ever want to stand on top of the car and go, yeah?
You know what? I think winning and beating them is a big enough of a nana than anything else. So I just like to do it on the track. I think that pisses them off more than anything.
Absolutely. So you're moving up the late models to get some asphalt experience. So I take it you want to follow this all the way to the top.
Yeah, absolutely. That's obviously my ultimate dream and ultimate goal. I realize there's a lot of steps that need to be taken to get there, and but I've come this far, essentially, obviously, aside from the help of sponsors, I've done this basically on my own, and that's something that I'm really proud of. And I'm only learning more about the industry, more about partnering with sponsors, and more about getting better as a race car driver. So I think if I just keep the hardworking attitude and the positive attitude, and just keep working at it, that anything's possible.
Yeah, with the right attitude, anything is possible. That's definite. Who's your favorite driver?
That's a hard one. I like a lot of drivers for a lot of different reasons. I was sad to see Gordon leave, though, because he was one of the first drivers that really was known from coming from sprint cars and was really successful in NASCAR. So he's someone I've always looked up to in racing. Obviously, there's a huge amount of respect there for Danica, helping pave the way for females like me in the sport. But yeah, I think every driver kind of has their own way of gaining respect from other drivers or other fans.
Yeah, definitely so. So you've moved down here in the South now?
I have not moved yet. I'm currently still in Canada, but hopefully as soon as things are all signed up with the team and sponsors, and once things are finalized, I will be coming down there to be racing every weekend. So I'll essentially be living down there.
That's a pretty long commute right now, isn't it?
I think it's about 30 hours. Yeah, it's pretty far.
Wow. That's a bit of a drive. That's a bit of a tow.
Yeah, but there's no snow down there, and we got a bunch of snow days, so I really don't mind it.
Well, I don't want to mention this, but I'm running my air conditioner here in North Carolina all day. Oh, they're talking about it's supposed to get cold next week. It's supposed to get down to 47.
That would be beautiful weather here. We got the heat on for sure.
Yeah, that would be a high for you. Oh, geez. Well, while I've got a moment, go ahead and give us a shout out to anybody you want to, your sponsors, family, friends, shop dogs, whoever.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I have Champion Spark Plugs coming on again this year, which I'm really happy with. About 3 years ago, I entered the Search for the Champion contest, which is currently on right now for the 2016 Search for a Champion. So I encourage everyone to check out the website and vote for their favorite driver. I was lucky enough to be one of the finalists 3 years ago, and they've stayed on with me for the last 3 years. So that's a partnership I'm really proud to be a part of. Just a great company to be partnered with. And hopefully in a couple weeks I'll be able to announce a few more of those. I also encourage people to check out my Facebook page, amberbalkanracing.com, and to follow me on Twitter and Instagram and Periscope at amberbalkan10.
Cool deal. And let people know how they can follow you on social media.
Yeah, so my Twitter handle and Instagram handle is at amberbalkan10. Last name spelled Balcaen. And then Facebook is Amber Balkan Racing, Facebook page there. And I also have a website, is amberbalkanracing.com.
Cool deal. The list of tracks you're going to be planning on running at, did you mention Southern National Motorsports Park in Kinley?
No, for just South Boston and Motor Mile are two for sure. And then hopefully some tracks in North Carolina and South Carolina too, of Myrtle Beach, Hickory, Anderson, Greenville. And I think that's about it for the schedule.
You need to come check out Southern National. It's right off Interstate 95 in the town of Kinley. And it's a miniature Bristol. It's a 3/8 of a mile, high bank, super fast asphalt track, and I think you'd have a lot of fun. And with your sprint car background, you'd probably do real good there.
Yeah, my favorite tracks in sprint car racing was really fast, high banked quarter miles. So I already like the sounds of that racetrack.
Well, it's a tough place.
Thanks for calling in, caller. Are you our next guest?
Yes, it's Jesse.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's see you one night.
How you did?
Absolutely, that'd be great. I'd love to run there.
Good deal. Amber, I appreciate you coming on tonight. I'm glad I got to meet you and glad I got to talk to you, and I'm really looking forward to come seeing you drive.
Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate that. Thank you for having me on the show. And again, if anyone's interested in any marketing opportunities with myself and the race team, you can just reach out to me on any form of social media, and I will reply right away.
There you go. Looking forward to meeting you in person, Amber. And let us know if you get your sponsorship deal finalized and everything, send me a message over at my group, NASCAR and Other Racing, and I'll make sure it gets out.
Absolutely, I will. Thanks very much for having me on the show, and thanks for all my fans for tuning in and listening and for supporting me through my journey in racing.
Well, again, thank you for coming on, and we'll be in touch, Amber.
Thanks very much.
All right, good night. All right, folks. A very interesting driver, Amber Balkan. She's a real good sprint car driver, and like I said, I don't think she'll have much difficulty making the switch over to asphalt late models, and I wish her all the best. And now, our next guest is in the studio, and let me see if I can butcher his last name. He's a K&N Pro Series West driver, and also involved in the military, and from what I've seen on Facebook and everything, a good all-around guy. So let's talk with Jesse Iwuji. Did I get close?
Yeah, you're pretty close. You're pretty close.
Say it for me one time so I can get it right.
Iwuji.
All right, I'm with you. How you doing tonight, Jesse?
I'm doing I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on the show tonight.
That's right. Y'all laugh at the redneck. I follow you on social media a lot and everything, and your racing career seems to be picking up. What led you to the K&N Pro Series West racing?
So pretty much, how it started, at least for my stock car racing, was, I started late model racing about just a little bit less than a year ago. Actually, in April last year was my first stock car race, when I was running late models down in Irwindale Speedway in Southern California. So I was running that, doing that, and the opportunity opened up to run some K&N West. And when it did, I figured, hey, it's the next level. It gets me through, and up, the ladder toward, my end goal. So, I decided to take the opportunity, and, I'm here now. I'm ready to run, in the 2016 season with Patriot Motorsports Group. Our team's based out of Idaho, and I'm just looking forward to a pretty good year, continuing to learn, especially from all the talented drivers that we race against. And I think it should be a pretty good year.
Yeah, there's some hot shoes in that K&N West series. I watch some of those when I get a chance, and there's a lot of good drivers there, just like in the East, guys that are good and looking to move up. I got to ask, are you planning on running Iowa this year in that K&N East and West shootout?
Yes, sir. I should be running Iowa this year, so I think that's going to be an awesome track to run at, especially because it's really the biggest track that we're going to be running at this year for the K&N West. Because we don't have Phoenix on the schedule this year, so Iowa will be our largest track, and it should be a good turnout. A lot of great fans there and everything, and it should be really good with all the drivers. I mean, we're gonna have a ton of great drivers there, and I think it's all going to be a really good time and a great chance to really learn how to drive those bigger tracks. Because this year our schedule is full of really short, tight tracks like the quarter mile and third mile tracks.
Yeah, that's a honking fast track out there in Iowa, and there's a lot of pride at stake out there because you've got the East and the West drivers racing together, one of the seldom tracks they do, and there's a lot of guys that want to win that race to say, well, I'm the best of both,
Yeah.
So there's a lot of real motivated drivers there. I wish you well in that. I'm sure you'll do good. It'll be a show either way.
Thank you. Yeah. There should be a lot of great drivers between the East and the West, so it'll be a good shootout, and there's a lot of great competition there, and I'm looking forward to it. So I can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I hear that. Let's talk about your military background a little bit. You're in what branch of the service?
So I'm in the Navy. I'm a surface warfare officer, and I've been in for almost 6 years now. It'll be 6 years in May. I was commissioned out of the U.S. Naval Academy back in 2010, and I've been stationed on the West Coast pretty much the entire year, done 2 different deployments on 2 different ships to the Arabian Gulf, and it's been all good. It's been really good. Definitely learned a lot. It's taught me a lot, a lot of life lessons, and definitely, helped me, accomplish different things I've wanted to accomplish in life.
Cool deal. I'd like to say thank you for your service, and I'm impressed with service people now because I have a son in the military, in the Air Force. Don't hold that against him. And he's in Japan right now, but I'm really proud of him, and the more I've been, talking with him and everything, the more I've come to appreciate all military people. It's not an easy career, but it is a good career. And like I said, I thank you for your service.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's definitely been pretty rewarding, and I'm really happy that I made that choice in life to go that route. And all the brave service members out there who are doing it too. Definitely thank them all too. Each day, because we all look out for each other. We're all brothers and sisters in arms. So, we have people over here in the U.S. and we have people overseas. And, the people that are overseas are away from families, a lot of them. So, it is definitely pretty tough. But, we're all pretty strong. We, hang out together, do everything together, and, definitely push each other a lot. But we take care of each other so that, we can get through any type of tough times that we do go through, where we can all make it home and eventually spend time with our families.
Are you going to make a career out of it?
So the plan is, since I really love racing and NASCAR, is to make that transition, to become a full-time driver one of these days. So I'm still in active duty right now in the Navy, but the goal would be to transition to the reserves and still, be connected with the Navy and still do Navy type stuff, but not full-time, so that I could really focus on, my racing and continue to progress up that ladder.
Now,
how far are you looking to go with your racing?
To the top. That's my goal. That's my dream, and that's what I want to make happen. So however long that takes, whatever I have to do to make it happen, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm pretty determined, and I know it's not an easy route. I know I'm definitely a little bit behind the curve just because I didn't start stock car racing, or at least circle track racing, until, just recently. But, I'm a firm believer that you can do anything you want to do in life, as long as you're just, ridiculously determined and, just persistent with it. You continue to go after it every single day, no matter how many times life kicks you. You just got to keep getting up and keep going and going and going. And eventually you'll hit, because you think about it, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, there you go. Jason, you had something you wanted to ask Jesse?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to thank you for your service. I had the opportunity back in '96 to 2000 to serve as well, and I couldn't imagine doing it now. I had the opportunity to go to Bosnia, and compared to what the military has got to do these days, I couldn't imagine it. And I tell people all the time, I couldn't imagine being in today's military with everything going on. And I have a lot of respect. I'm still right on top of Fort Bragg. I didn't go nowhere. Get to hear all the stories and everything else, and kind of know a lot of things that are going on. And I just couldn't imagine it. So I definitely want to thank you for all you do. A really good friend of the show, Hannah Newhouse, shared a very inspirational and a very heartfelt video that you were part of, and kind of tell us what it was about, and let the listeners know about this video. That if you've not had an opportunity to check it out, let them also know where to find it, and make sure for you ladies especially out there listening to the show that like to tear up, you might want to make sure you grab a box of tissues when you watch this video. But Jesse, tell them a little bit about this video.
Yeah, so it was definitely pretty emotional. It was a pretty powerful experience that we had this past weekend. So one of my friends, he hit me up on Facebook, and what he told me was, hey, I know this family in Las Vegas, and they adopted a child. The child is 4 years old. The child also has, a really rare and deadly form of cancer, and with that, they're not too sure how much longer he has here. I mean, the kid might not see his 5th birthday this year, which is pretty sad. So he told me about the story and said that, the child really wanted to ride in a full-blown, NASCAR race car. That's one of his bucket list dreams. And when he told me about this, I was like, you know what? I want to make this happen for him. No matter what we have to do, let's make this happen. And this was about 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half before we made this happen. And I said, hey, this is what I'll do. Get me in touch with the parents, and I will buy plane tickets for both parents and the child to come up to Idaho, where our shop is, and we have a track right there, right next to the shop, and I'll give them a ride in our 2-seater race car and show them around, show them the cars and everything, get them inside, you can turn one on, things like that to give them a full-blown NASCAR experience. And I got in touch with the mother and told her what was going on and what I wanted to do, and she was in tears. She was just so happy and grateful that we were going to make this happen. So I bought the plane tickets. We flew him out there. The kid came out there, and the kid just had a ton of energy. The kid really, really loved, being there, seeing the cars, turning them on, and then we took him around a few laps on the track. And that was just an incredible experience for me to be able to do that for him. But it was definitely big thanks to my team, Patriot Motorsports Group, for helping me make this happen, and the track owners, track managers, all of them just, coming together, at Meridian Speedway in Idaho, and just, helping me put this together so that, we can make this kid's dream come true.
I tell you what, that is such a cool thing, and there's no greater feeling. We're kind of getting the same opportunity, not to the extreme that you got to do it, plus the video. We're one of the main sponsors of a wrestling event that's coming here to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Anybody listening to the show, it's in the area, please hit me up at mrcjsports@gmail.com about getting tickets, where we're raising money to help and destroy cancer. And I tell you what, that with all that going on right now and seeing that video, it was really cool to have an opportunity to kind of just be able to sit back and see what how important this is to everybody, to include athletes, to have this kind of impactful influence on the fans and those that supports everybody, that support us. And it was just really cool to see the video, and I was glad that you had the opportunity. I knew that it meant a lot to you, and you could see in the video that it was really impactful and really heartfelt, and it was really cool to see.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it definitely was. I mean, really emotional and powerful, and I think it was great for not just me and the kid and the family, but also to the rest of our team. I mean, everyone there really felt the love and really felt the joy. And it was just a great experience. And, I definitely, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to make the video and everything, one, for the family to keep and have, and, so they can enjoy that experience forever. But also, two, to kind of share with the rest of the world, to show them, like, hey, us as race car drivers, no matter what level you are, whether you're running late models or you're all the way up at the Cup Series or you're running Formula One, wherever you are, us as drivers, I think, a lot of people look up to us. And with that, we can use what we have and what we've, been gifted and, blessed to do. We can use it for a lot of good. It's not just to go out there and run around in circles and win championships and races and all that stuff. That's great and all, but at the end of the day, when you're laying on your deathbed, what does it all mean? Nothing. But what really means something is when you can create opportunities and bless other people with talents and gifts that God gave you, so that you can bring their lives up in a positive way. That really means something, and that's really what I wanted to share with everyone, to show them that, hey, we have the ability to do that. You are very, very powerful as a person, and you can do a lot of things with that power to help other people in their lives.
Oh, and I absolutely positively agree. I know we're not ESPN here, but yet we're able to, do our part to, be impactful and help with this cause, and so I completely understand, and I just like taking the same way as you, just like taking an advantage of the opportunity and the platform that we are on, and what God has given us. Not everybody has gotten the platform that you got or the platform I've gotten, and I feel it's kind of our duty to kind of take advantage of that in a good way and help those that we can help and be impactful in those lives we can. And I think that's why that video was so impactful to me, is to see someone such as yourself that, given the opportunity that you've been given, you've taken an advantage of it in a positive way and been impactful in somebody's life.
Definitely. It's so true. I mean, a huge impact. I'm just very happy and, very blessed to, be able to, take advantage of it and just, make it happen and, really see that smile on his face all day. It was great. It was really good.
Yeah, that was really big of you, Jesse, to take on something like that and give this child memories that they'll have for the rest of their life. I'm sure it was a great day for everybody involved, and it was a really good thing for you to do on your own. And I think that's a problem in a lot of area racing nowadays, is a lot of people, a lot of drivers don't take time to make that extra effort or to do like you do, by bringing this kid out and doing, granting them a wish that they want, in the way our earlier guest Amber interact with the young female drivers and everything. Y'all haven't forgot where you came from or what it was like to be a child. And I think a lot of other drivers lose sight of this. And it's good to see people like you giving back, giving something back, and, making memories.
Exactly. And that's definitely true. And it's really, really important to, understand and just always know where you came from. And, the thing with me is, where I came from, I'm still there. I'm still there. So that's why I'm not losing sight of it, and I'll always retain it. I'm not, a super rich person. I don't have rich parents or anything like that. I don't run on a super high dollar team or this and that. I don't have those blessings. I have different blessings, and the blessings I do have, I try to maximize them to the best of my ability, and good things will eventually come around.
I want to ask this, and I don't want to be rude or offensive or anything like that, but have you run into any difficulties being a black man at the racetrack? Do you have any hurdles to overcome before you even get in the car or anything?
Luckily, thank God, I have not run into that. Now, I haven't run into it in front of me, at least. If it has happened or had happened, it's probably been behind my back or something. But I haven't actually personally seen it. I think everyone, for the most part, that I run into is pretty cool and doesn't look at things, like that, which is good, because it is, 2016, and I think people are definitely coming around. I think a lot of people like that, I'm different, I'm not the average or the normal, typical, usual, race car driver. I am different, and, I embrace it, because it's cool, and, trying to pave the way for a lot of people who are like me, who would never even try racing because they might feel like they would be discriminated against. But, I'm here to say that you won't be discriminated against. I think NASCAR is doing a really good job of really promoting that, hey, we want something new. We want something fresh. We want to bring in all sorts of types of people, everything. We want females. We want, African Americans. We want Hispanics. We want Asians. We want everything, So I think NASCAR is doing a good job of really putting that out there and supporting that. And I think it's really good, and I think it'll go a long way. Eventually, we'll have, all sorts of backgrounds and types of people coming into the sport, and it will be really good for it.
That's really good to hear, because, I've never heard it from that perspective, and it's good to know that racing is keeping up with the times. Without going into detail, I can tell you in my day, back in the mid-'80s and '90s, it wasn't like the way it is now. It was a real closed society then, and racing, like you said, with Brian France and the initiatives that NASCAR is taking with their drive for diversity, they're trying to bring in other groups of people. They want other drivers, because other types of drivers will bring in other types of fans, so it feeds each other, and I'm just glad that the attitude and the atmosphere has changed since my day, and it's become more open. I'm looking at the clock, and I know you got to get out of here. Go ahead and give a shout-out to anybody you want to recognize or anybody that helps you in your racing or anything.
Yeah, definitely. I always want to thank, God, and thank my family and friends, the ones who support me a lot. And, also definitely want to thank some of the sponsors that are helping to support me this year in our racing season, like Houston Motorsports, Purell, ATL Fuel Cells, Porterfield Brakes, DJ Safety, Rugged Radio, Sherwin-Williams, Wax for Dads, The Joy of Seating, Angel 7 Industries, and iRacing and the Red List Group. So definitely want to thank them for all the help and support they're giving this year. Family and friends, they're my biggest supporters in helping me really get through this journey.
Good deal. And let everybody know on social media how they can follow you.
So social media-wise, they can find me by going on Facebook, and searching Jesse Iwuji Racing. My name is spelled Jeffe, last name Iwuji, and then Racing. And then if you go on to Instagram or Twitter, I have the same handle on those. So that is Jesse, Jesse _ IWUJI. If you find me on there, shoot me a message or anything, comment, like something, and I'll definitely be able to respond, as soon as possible.
Good deal. Well, I'm glad I got to meet you, Jesse. Like I said, I follow you on Facebook through my group, NASCAR and Other Racing, and I've always been impressed with you, really, just, being a military man and driving a race car. That's a pretty good deal right there, and I really appreciate you coming on and talking with us tonight.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me on the show tonight. Y'all been awesome, and, just keep it going.
Well, keep posting so I can keep up with what's going on, and we'll try to get you back on later on in the season, and talk to you and find out how the season's going. And while I'm at it, message me back your mailing address, and let me send you some of our sponsors' products, some Snafu seasoning. It's an excellent spice blend to use as a grill rub or just to put on stuff that you cook at home. So, like I said, send me a PM with your address, and I'll get some out to you.
All right, I will. I'll do that for sure.
All right, good deal. Thank you again, Jesse, for coming on. We'll talk to you later.
All righty, I'll talk to you later. Thank you so much. Y'all have a blessed night.
You too. Good night. All right, folks. That was Mr. Jesse Iwuji out of California, and he's got a plan that he's going to follow to get to the top, and I think he's one that'll make it there. He's definitely got the right attitude for it. And, well, let's swing right on and get our next guest on. He's in the studio now, and he's riding high the first of the season here. He's done real good so far, and he's looking to only do better. So let's talk with the man, Tyler Sistrunk. Tyler, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good, man. How are you guys doing tonight?
Oh, we're finer than frogs here tonight. I saw where you just had a big victory last weekend. Tell people about it.
Yes, sir. We had a great weekend. We ran at Alltech Raceway this past Friday, and we almost won that race. We led for a couple of laps, and long story short, another car blew up and put oil all over the track in the last couple of laps, and I lost my handling because I was the first one in the oil because the track really didn't clean it up that well. But regardless, we brought the car home in a really solid third place finish and came home and changed everything over and worked on it and headed down to Ocala to Bubba Raceway Park, and we took it out. We won the heat race, and for the first time in my career, we won our very first street stock race. And we built the car. We started building it in 2010, and it's taken us 6 years to do it. But we finally got our first win, and we've got a lot of momentum right into this weekend. So very thankful, very excited about the past couple races we've had, and very excited for the rest of 2016 to come.
I heard that, and congratulations on your win. And don't feel bad. It took me 6 years as a crew chief on mine and my dad's race team to get my first victory. It's not like you walk in and start winning. It takes a lot to get that far. I like your car. You got a very unique race car for a street stock. It's a Lamborghini. Tell us how you came up with that.
Well, in the street stock class around here in Florida, you see a lot of, I guess you would call them cookie cutter cars, and that's your basic Monte Carlos, and Camaros. That's 90% of what everything, everybody runs out here. And they all look just about the same with stock body, stock nose. And the rules allow you to run an aftermarket nose piece and, handmade bodies and things like that. So 2 years ago, I partnered up with Bad Boy Racing Chassis, and he's one of my very good friends, Bubba Bevel, and we sat down and came up with a body design that would mimic a late model type of body, but would still give it a aggressive Lamborghini look, because I'm a big fan of Lamborghini brand, and I'm a big fan of the Aventador, the Diablo, Countach, all the really great supercars that Lambo makes. But I just wanted to be different because not many people run a white car, not many people run green in racing, and you see some late model guys that have like Ferrari and Mercedes and things like that, but I wanted one that would mimic a supercar the best that I could, that would still be versatile and easy to work on, but still just be a showstopper whenever we get there. And that same body has lasted us for 2 years, and it's done really great. And the next time that we put a new body on the car, expect for it to be even more out of control than what's on there now.
Do you drive a Lamborghini in your personal life?
I wish. That's one of my dreams, is to at least be able to drive one, because I know I'll never be able to own one. But that's why we call it the Lake City Lamborghini, because that's the only one that you're going to see in this town.
That's cool. That's really cool. And another thing to me that was as noticeable as the Lambo front end was you got green on your car. Have you never heard that superstition that green is bad luck in racing? To me, I just call that an excuse. That's the same thing with like running 13 or having, peanuts in the pits or things like that. That's all excuses for, not working hard on your car. If something goes wrong, you blame it on your luck. You get out there and work on it every day, like me and my dad do. My dad's retired now, so he works on it a lot more than I can. I get home, late at night, and I work on it all night. But we put in a ton of hours and make sure that everything is perfect. And I finally have a job where I have the weekends off. So now we're doing a lot more racing with our local track here. We've got 2 tracks that are 10 minutes away from our house and our shop. One at North Florida Speedway, which is a 3/8 mile track, and then right down the road at Alltech, which opened up this past fall, and that's a true paperclip half mile. And Alltech races on Friday, and North Florida races every other weekend on Saturdays. So not only are we running Friday night at Alltech, but after they get done racing there, we'll bring it home, change the gear out, and change whatever else we need to. And we travel to Ocala. That's where we got our first win last week. And this Saturday, we're going to be going down to Daytona and run Volusia County Speedway. So that's our plans that we're doing, and it's been really, really great so far. If you've been to Volusia County before, that's a pretty high-speed track.
I have not. This is going to be our first go-around with it. The track shape is a little bit different, but a lot of the setup that we have for Alltech is going to, basically just transfer right over to Volusia. We'll have to change tires because they have to run a different compound than what Alltech allows. But other than that, there's going to be a lot of things that we don't have to change. It'd be nice.
Yeah, it sure makes it a lot easier to go from Friday night to Saturday night.
Absolutely.
Tell us about your background. What got you into racing, and how young were you when you started, and what was the ladder you climbed to get to where you are now?
Well, I was 13 years old, turning 14, and I've always loved and watched racing on Sundays after church with my dad. And never been able to actually go to a NASCAR race, but I told my dad I always wanted to go, so he took me to the local dirt track. And I was hooked as soon as I walked in the stand. I saw cars that had a for sale sign, and I think my dad had a bruise in his rib after me nudging him so much, saying that's what I want for my birthday, seeing a car with a for sale sign on it. And before you know it, after that weekend, about 2 or 3 weeks afterwards, my dad called somebody who knew somebody that knew another person, and I had a ride in the local asphalt track in the beginning Hornet car class, little 4-cylinder class.
Yep.
And I raced that, and I was 14 at the time, never really driven a car other than, around the farm, and actually did pretty well. Was going for the lead, and my head got too big for my helmet, and I smacked the wall and destroyed the car. That's when we went to dirt track racing, and I built a couple of cars, started in the Hornet class for a couple of years, moved up to a pure stock class for a year, and that class was a little too rough for my taste, and we moved up to street stocks in 2009, and that's when we started to build the car that I have now in 2010. And ever since then, we've just been building and racing when we can, and doing little things at a time. Finally got us a nice enclosed trailer, and they got us a nice shop built, and it's just been going up from there. And like I said, 6 years, it finally paid off, and we got our first win at Bubba Raceway Park. So that's my background with racing.
Yeah, boy. It sounds like your dad is real involved with your racing, which is good to hear. Do you have any other family members that are involved or go to the races with you or anything?
Absolutely. It's I wouldn't be able to do what I do, one, mainly without my dad, because he's just he never was able to race or do anything like that. He's always been a gearhead, but he just never had the opportunity to really do anything with with cars or things like that. And it's good for me and him to have good father-son time. So yeah, I definitely wouldn't be able to do it without my dad. And my mom puts up with me and my dad staying out in the shop all night and going out and staying late out on the weekends. And my mom actually, she comes out to the racetrack, and she, I guess would call her my video or media personnel, because she videos the race from the grandstand. And after we get home, I download the videos and edit down all the caution laps and make it all nice and professional. Put it on my YouTube page along with the 3 cameras that we have on the car as well.
Yeah, I've seen some of your videos and stuff, and they're good. They're a good way to follow a race. And that's great that your family and especially your dad are involved in it. One of the blessings in my life was I got to co-own a NASCAR late model stock car team with my dad for 15 years, and my dad and I didn't exactly see eye to eye when I was younger, and it was really good to get to work with him and get close to him and everything. So I know it's a lot of, personal satisfaction for you to be able to work that closely with your dad, and I congratulate you on that too.
Well, I appreciate it. It's racing definitely brings me and my dad together, and it's been great, since we got started.
Cool deal. What are your plans for the future? Do you plan to move up maybe go to asphalt, maybe go to a major stock car league?
Well, for right now, I'm more than likely going to stay in the class that I'm in now. As far as money-wise and budget, I have a couple of sponsors here and there that kind of help me out. But 80% of everything that we do comes out of my pocket. So the class that I'm in is really affordable for me. You know, I say it's affordable. Racing's never affordable, but it's something that's but you know, it's enough for me to handle as far as money-wise. And like I said, we've just got really in the roll of things where right now we're just critiquing and, you know, maintaining and just making the car a tenth of a second faster, you know, here and a tenth there. So as far as the future, I'm going to stay in this class and dominate the best that I can. Don't really plan to move up or go to asphalt or anything like that unless the good Lord blesses me with that opportunity.
That's a good attitude to have, Tyler. I'm pretty impressed. You know, you race within your means and you get comfortable with what you're racing, and it sounds like you got a pretty good plan there. You said you usually run 2 tracks or 3 tracks down in Florida. What are they like? Are they bull rings or are they high banked? Or you mentioned that one of them was a miniature paperclip. How different are they, and how much do you have to adapt yourself and the car to go from one track to another?
Well, that's what's so great, and what I love about Florida dirt track racing is that you've got a little bit of everything. The 2 tracks that are in my town in Lake City, North Florida Speedway is just your normal 3/8 banked track, you know, nothing. It's just a regular oval. At Alltech, it is a true big half mile. It's the same size as Volusia, except you got 2 really long straightaways and, you know, 2 90-degree corners. So it's pretty fun to, you know, we're going at least 100, 110. You know, we move around that track pretty quick. At Ocala, it's kind of like Darlington. It's like an egg shape. You got 1 and 2 is a long sweeping turn. You really don't have a turn 3, and then you have a turn 4 that's almost 90 degrees. And it's a pretty high bank track as well. And it's fun to race on. A couple of years ago, it used to be flat, and you have to drop out of the seat of your pants. But now they put some banking in it, and now you go even faster than before. There's 2 hours away, going. Let's see, that'd be east. Is Putnam County Speedway, and that's in Palatka, Florida, and that is more of a flat red dirt. Small 3/8 paperclip, and it is a fun track to drive because you bonsai in the corners and hold on to it, turn it around, and go drag racing. So it's definitely, you know, very fun to drive. And there's a couple of tracks that we're going to be racing at this year that's not really a weekly race for us, but we're going to go race, you know, just for the heck of it, which is Volusia, and that's a D-shaped half-mile high bank. We're going to be going down to East Bay Raceway Park, which is a short 3/8 flat, kind of semi-banked oval. We may, if money and time allows, make a 6-hour drive down to Okeechobee at Hendry County Speedway. That is a quarter-mile mid-sized banked oval, and I've heard it's a really fun track to drive. It's nothing but corners all the way around. But again, it's a 6-hour drive for us. Also, if hopefully, you know, I've heard rumors and I've seen a couple of pictures, but South Georgia Motorsports Park up in Adel, Georgia, is going dirt. and I believe they have the half-mile oval, and if their rules are close enough to what we run, we're definitely going to be making a lot of appearances up there because they're only an hour north for us.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of different changes. We've got 5 different gears that cover us for all the tracks here in Florida, and there's a lot of different. We take notes every week, and we document everything that happens, and if this setup doesn't work, next time that we go there, we make sure that we either change it or go back to where we were, and we've always improved from there.
I think that's a problem with a lot of race teams is nobody takes a lot of notes. They all think, I can remember this, and by the end of the night, you've got 30 things you're trying to remember, so you don't remember all of it. So, that's a big part of your setup and everything is being able to look back on previous race notes to get you close when you get there. So you don't have to spend a ton of time trying to get the car right. You just spend time fine-tuning it and go.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
You're set up.
I'm sorry?
Go ahead.
I said, yeah, it's pretty funny because without a doubt, when we get done racing the feature and we go through tech and we come to the trailer, the first thing that we do before we get anything packed up and ready to go is we have story time, and we just go sit down in the trailer, and because while it's fresh on my mind, my dad takes notes, and I tell him what exactly the car was doing, what needed to be improved, where the car was best, where the car was worse, and we just take notes while it's still fresh on my mind, and document everything. That way when we go back, we know, hey, the track was dry slick or the track was real tacky, and we take notes and adjust from there.
Well, dude, I hope you get hooked up with some sponsorship, because you definitely have a racer's attitude, and it's obvious from the way you've started this year, you're capable of winning races and everything. So I hope things progress good for you. I mean, you got the right attitude and you deserve it.
Well, thank you, Steve. I do have some great sponsors that are hooked up with us now. First and foremost is GracelandPortableBuildings.com. I also, want to say thank you to Creative Concrete Design, Benton Enterprises, RH Performance. That's who builds our motors, and they build great motors. Tony does an awesome job building our motors for us. Bubba with Bad Boy Racing is phenomenal. He's the guy that built the body for us. Also, I'm partnered with one of your buddies there with Let's Race Magazine. They're promoting me this year, and I'm very happy to be a part with them.
Pave the way.
Yeah, pave the way. Yeah, saves the trip, man. He's the trip. I'm very, very happy to be a part with Let's Race Magazine and Dave and everything that they're doing. I appreciate all that they're doing to help me get my name out in the community, and who knows where it can go from there. Also want to thank Hoffman Auto Transport, and also got to thank my mom and dad again, and good Lord above for keeping me safe and getting us to where we are today.
Absolutely. And for you listeners that might not know, Let's Race Magazine and TV is an excellent Facebook group to go to. Not only can you post and get your name out there and everything, but Dave Bowen will help you, help promote you and help get your name out there and everything. So if you don't know them, check them out. It's Let's Race Magazine and TV. And it's a good deal, especially for short track racers. That's pretty much what he caters to. And he's a lot of help. Excuse me. while we got a minute, tell everybody how they can follow you on social media.
Well, we got a lot of outlets for people to find us at. My main spot right now is on Facebook, and you can find us at Tyler Sistrunk Motorsports. You can also find us on Twitter at Tyler Sistrunk. You can find me on Instagram, and that is at Tyler Sistrunk 37. You can follow me on YouTube and check out all of my videos, and that includes a rear view camera, that includes a roof camera, that includes a in-car camera, and a view from the grandstands as well. So 4 angles of racing for each heat race and each feature at every track that we go to, every race that we race. And on YouTube, you can find us at youtube.com/TS Motorsports 37. And that way you can check out all of our videos there. And I also give a post-race interview and kind of tell you guys how things are going, how the race went. And check out our race-winning videos from this past weekend at Ocala. It's special, and it'll give you goosebumps listening to the post-race interview and just feel the emotion that me and my dad have of, finally after having 6 years of that work, finally paying off for us. So that's how you guys can follow me, and I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I've watched the video of your victory and everything, and it is pretty impressive. Matter of fact, it's what got me to get you on the show was the fact that you had won, and from what I could tell, the relationship between you and your dad. So it's really admirable. I'm glad you got this first victory under your belt, and the second one won't be so hard to come by. I thank you again for coming on. I'm glad I got to meet you, and I'm glad I got to talk with you. Make sure you PM me your mailing address, and let me send you some of the snafu seasoning. I'm sure you'll enjoy that if you go out or however you cook.
Absolutely. I would really appreciate that.
I'll even throw in a bottle for your dad. How about that?
Hey, that works, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on the show, Tyler, and good luck to you the rest of the 2016 season. I hope you do well. I think you deserve it. You've got a strong racing mind, and I just think you'll do good after talking with you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it, and I look forward to being back on the show again. You guys have a blessed night.
You too, Tyler. Good night. All right, folks. If you've been listening, you know it's been a great show. And we've had 3 very interesting and different type drivers on. And I love talking to all these different short track racers. So if you know of somebody that should be on the show, message me with a private message, or you can message me at 110 Nation Sports. You can message me at NASCAR and Other Racing, my Facebook group, and Racing with Big Sweat, my Facebook group. So let me know if you know of somebody, and we'll get them on. Jason, let everybody know what you got going on.
Make sure you guys check out the 110 Nation Sports Show Monday through Friday. You can catch that at 9 p.m. Also, make sure you check out our blog site, www.the110nationsports.com. You can check us out on Facebook, my personal fan page, Mr. CJ Sports. If you guys have not liked us over in the 110 Nation fan page, you can catch us over at 110 Nation Sports on Facebook. April 15th is our 5-year mark, and we would really like to have 1,000 likes by our 5-year mark. If we hit that goal, April 15th, 2016, we got 5 days of 110 Nation goodie bags that will be given out to our Facebook followers. So make sure that you guys either like us, share us, or find somebody and tell them to go like us. That way we can hit our goal and we can kick off our fifth season on a high note. So make sure you guys check that out for us.
Yeah, definitely check it out. And check out his show. He covers all kinds of sports, ball, stick sports, racing, and everything. So I check it out, just so I can be semi-knowledgeable of what's going on in basketball and baseball and football and stuff. It's a real good source of information. And Jason puts on a really good show. If you want to find me, unless I owe you money, go to Twitter. I'm at Big Sweat, the NASCAR Heartbreaker and Home Record. Facebook, like I said, it's the best way to catch me there is at my group. NASCAR and Other Racing. Not only do we talk about NASCAR racing, but we talk about the things we talk about here, local short track racing, dirt modifieds, asphalt modifieds, dirt late models, sprint cars, whatever. If it's on four wheels and racing, we're going to talk about it. So come check us out. Join the group. We're a very family-friendly group. We don't allow any profanity. We don't allow any bashing of drivers or other members or anybody. Don't be scared that your kids might see or hear something they shouldn't. We just don't allow it. We have quite a few drivers under the age of 18, and we have a lot of female members, and we try to respect them and not offend them. So come join the group. We'll be glad to have you, and I think you'll be glad to be there. Well, CJ, that's going to about do it for me tonight. You got anything else?
Nah. Just looking forward to Monday night. Me and you back at it. Rubbing is Racing, 7 p.m. Make sure you guys check that out as we're going to be recapping this weekend in NASCAR.
Yeah, definitely check us out. Like you said, Monday night, Rubbing is Racing. We'll do our NASCAR talking there, and then Thursday night we do our short track in here. And I've got 2 drivers lined up so far. An asphalt drive from Bowman Gray Stadium, so we'll get some insight on what goes on up there, and a dirt modified driver, and we're trying to get some more lined up. So like I said, if you know of anybody, let me know. And while I'm on the subject, there's a new kid in town. I'm bringing in a co-host starting next week to help me with the show, and he's real involved and has a lot of good information about racing, especially racing in the Northeast, and infinitely racing at Riverhead Raceway. The young gentleman's name is Mike Perricone, and he blogs, he keeps up with what's going on up there. He's got a lot of inside information, and I think he's going to be a great asset to the show. So you Riverhead people, come check out Mike next week. He's going to be sitting in the studio with me, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. One other thing I want to mention was, I'm talking about social media. I write a blog that comes out every Tuesday. It's called NASCAR Shit, Racing with Big Sweat, and it's the written word of what I think went on the last weekend and what I'm looking at for the next weekend. So check it out. It's at www.racingwithbigsweat, all one word, .blog.com, and you can get a unfiltered look at things from the NASCAR point of view. Well, let's shut this cattle drive down, CJ, and we'll get back on Monday night with Rubbing is Racing.
Yes, sir.
All right, folks. Thank you very much for tuning in. Tell your friends and be sure to tune in next week to hear Mike Perricone come on with me. So thank you for tuning in to Racing with Big Sweat, and we'll see you later.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
To sit in with Big Sweat. I tell you what, there's no greater way to spend a Thursday night, especially the great guests we had on the show tonight. And very, very excited that we had this opportunity. So, got to thank everybody for making that happen. Updates on tonight's basketball tournament. Kentucky's up right now, 18-11 over Stony Brook. They got about 6 minutes left in the first. Like I said, 18-11. Providence right now is over top at USC, 26-24. Got about 7.5 minutes or so left in the first. Wichita State is on top of Arizona, 26-17, with just about a minute and a half left in the first. Gonzaga and Seton Hall still yet to tip off in about another 15 minutes. To go over the scores in case any of them that went final, I can't remember if it was what games were going on when we started off the show. Plus, if you missed them, Miami of Florida over Buffalo, 79-72. Indiana over Chattanooga, 99-74. North Carolina ended up being victorious over Florida Gulf Coast, 83-67. Utah over Fresno State, 80-69. Arkansas Little Rock double overtime over Purdue, upset, 85-83. Kansas over Austin Peay, 105-79. Another upset, Yale over Baylor, 79-75. Virginia over top of Hampton, 81-45. Connecticut upsets Colorado, 74-67. Iowa State goes on to beat Iona, 94-81. Butler upsets Texas Tech, 71-61, and Duke over top of NC Wilmington, 93-85. A lot closer than I thought it should have been. Don't forget, tomorrow night, right here, back at it again, the 110 Nation Sports Show, 9 p.m. We have not confirmed our guest. There's a chance that we'll have Dylan Lipton on tomorrow night. If not, I think it'll be in next week. Make sure that you guys check us out on Twitter. You can follow me at CJ Sports 1. You can follow the 110 Nation at 110 Nation. Also, check us out on Facebook. My personal fan page, Mr. CJ Sports. The 110 Nation fan page, 110 Nation Sports. Like I said, we got a little bit less than a month. We want to hit 1,000 likes. Make sure that you either like us, share us, or make somebody go like us so we can have 1,000 likes April 15th to hit when we hit our 5th year anniversary. Make sure you guys do that for us. Also, check our blog site, www.the110nationsports.com. And then you can check out our company, www.the110nation.com, for all the latest going on here at the 110 Nation. Tomorrow night, 9 p.m., back at it again. I'm looking forward to it. You guys have a great night.
Thanks for listening to the 110 Nation Sports Show with Mr. CJ Sports. You are a part of the 110 Nation, so be sure to visit the110nation.com for everything related to the show. You can follow CJ on Twitter at 110 Nation and on Facebook at 110 Nation Sports. Until next time.